everybody. Welcome to Pilots 101 podcast. We like to start the show already laughing.
Just
I'm
like
Lisa
a
Timmons.
mess.
Just
Hi.
a mess. I'm Lisa Timmons, and this is Chris Quintos.
Hello. We are Pilots 101. We were just talking about how our friendship is now in its third presidential administration.
It means two things. It means we've been friends for a while, but also these were volatile times.
These were volatile times. Because usually it's like there's a second term in there somewhere.
But no, it was not the case here.
We weren't having it. Because it was a rough, that administration that shall not be named was.
That shall not be named. I mean, I feel like you have to have a very special relationship with whoever was close to you on that day. Because you were there. We were there together.
Yeah,
we were at the bar. Residuals, guys.
Residuals, which is, I think it's gone.
It's really close to me. I'm going to drive past and see what's going on with it.
Because I've heard someone else tell me that it's gone. And for those who are not in the area, which is everyone, because
Studio City,
listeners in Kenya, residual.
Chile and Canada now, by the way.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Don't be a stranger.
Don't be a stranger. Residuals is a bar in LA, in Studio City, that we used to go to after our job at CBS. And it is, a residual check is a check that you get for like something that you've been in that's still running on TV. And like the residual checks can be as small as like 1 cent.
Usually they are.
And yeah, exactly.
For that shampoo commercial you did that aired in Uruguay once.
Yes. And so then, so this bar would have you could take those in and have a drink. You could take your 1 cent, which may be why it's out of business.
I'm not even. Well, you know what?
Well, let's.
Oh my gosh! Can I tell you? We will check. And because you brought up residuals, I'm already going to throw out there a suggestion for our next pilot.
Yes,
Barry.
Oh, Barry!
Because if you guys don't know this, Barry features residuals. That is the bar, the actual bar where they shoot. All of the actors going to have a drink after, they do acting class. So
yes, I fell off of Barry because it was just like a weird time in my life or whatever. So I'm ready to get back on because it's such a good show.
It's such a good show. I love. I really, really love the premise of it. I think for me too. Like it's such an inside baseball LA show. Whenever they like feature the entertainment industry, I love it. I mean, they tell, so it falls in and out of fashion of whether or not you're allowed to write something that's inside baseball for entertainment. But I'm always obsessed with it.
Same. And that's a lot of the people who are watching are people who are interested or in it. So I don't know. I mean,
100%.
We need something too, we need something too.
Exactly, guys.
Wait, so, okay. Yes. Barry, that's a really great idea. Because it's so different from what we just did, which is We Are Lady Parts.
Oh my gosh.
What a fun, and what a fun show. It was on Peacock, and last week I asked, what is Peacock? It's just a streaming service. I don't know why I just was so thrown. I think it's because it's called something completely different.
I was also, thank you for your Peacock experience is very similar to mine. I was wildly confused.
I'm old, I think.
Well, it's also that things change so much faster than they used to. Like, I mean, guys, remember when MTV2 blew our minds?
MTV2, yeah. It was just, what was, like, it was just Buzzbin all the time? I don't know. It was like,
I think they were like, fine, we'll actually do music videos on this one, and then we'll have TRL 24/7 on the other.
Right. We won't play music videos on MTV, and then
No.
MTV2 will just be all music videos. That's so funny.
Which reminds me, this morning
Yes.
I put on my Spotify and I just like let it go, and a remix of Danity Kane's "Damaged" came on, and I forgot what a
Wasn't
bop that was.
damaged, damaged. Oh my gosh.
My
Still a
favorite part
workout.
is just, "Tell you gonna fix
Fix
it,
it,
fix it,
fix it,
fix it."
fix it.
And
That
my
is a
favorite,
bop.
it's such a bop. I always used to skip to the next song at the end where P Diddy would come on and he'd just be like, "Hey girl," and he'd start doing this
It's
weird
just like, get out of here,
weird.
P.
I'm like,
Diz.
"Get out of my ear."
We don't.
Next song.
This was the ladies' jam. What are you doing here? You
You can
know?
blame the one before, okay?
Yeah. I love that song.
I do
I feel
too.
like sometimes it'll appear on a workout mix that I make.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good one. Demi Lovato is heavily featured in my
Oh,
workout mixes.
what what tracks? What are the
Well, I love "Cool for the Summer."
oh, cool for the summer. Is that cool
"Cool
for
for
the
the
summer?
Summer's great.
Yeah.
Cool for the don't tell your mother." But like for the real, did wait a minute. Did I ever tell you? I must have told you when I
You were
auditioned to
an
be a
extra on her show? You told
No,
me.
but you know what? You're less than 6 degrees separated from Demi Lovato.
Okay, go on.
Did you know that you are?
I am, yes.
Yes. Yes, because I recognized your buddy in that "Cool
Yes.
for the Summer" video. And I was like, so Chris
Yes.
Q was in this amazing Zoom play
Yeah.
over
The
pandemic,
height of the pandemic, yeah.
height of the pandemic, and one of my favorite
Written
things,
by our friend Megan,
oh my
who's
gosh, Megan, who we're gonna have on here as a
yeah.
guest when we
Yeah.
get our organizational ish together.
Yes.
And so I see on this play that Chris is in this play with a
Mhm.
young man who I recognize from Demi Lovato's "Cool for the Summer" music video, and he's everywhere now too.
Yes. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. He's MSM. He's great. He's everywhere. He's so fun. He's just like a really nice guy.
I
Like
mean,
I
that
think
play, everybody in that play seemed amazing.
yeah, I think it's like I've been lucking out with like all these projects where there's just like no egos, which means
Mm.
like I guess down the line I'm about to have a bunch of projects with like a bunch of egos, but
I
like
have a feeling you already paid that karma forward, my dear. I think
that's
you're good.
fair. That's
You've had
fair.
plenty.
That's fair. So like yeah, MSM's just like he's just kind of he doesn't have like an ego. He's but like his IMDb says like Demi Lovato's best friend or something
That is
pretty funny.
amazing.
Yeah. Cuz I don't know if you've ever watched her YouTube stuff.
No, I have not.
She's got like a docu series that she like about her relapse that's
Oh,
really interesting.
I thought you were going to say about aliens.
Oh, she also has that. That's a new one, and I haven't
Yes,
seen that yet. I need to see that. That's on my
we
list.
will. We'll put it on
Yeah,
the
we'll
list.
get it. I know we haven't done YouTube stuff. There's so much content.
There's so much content.
So anyway, oh wait, but back to Peacock. So Peacock is just a streaming service it's a Netflix for NBC.
Yes,
That's where
but
we're at.
it's confusing because I think there's also an NBC Apple TV app, and that's different
Right.
than Peacock. So yeah,
So then I asked my husband the question, like, why, if doesn't everyone get NBC?
that's what I
And he
thought
was
too.
like, yeah. And he was like, but you can't get like the back catalog. You can't watch like every episode of like
Parks
Parks
and
and
Rec,
Rec.
which I've
Yeah.
been doing.
Yes. If you don't have like, just because you have like NBC doesn't mean you can watch like all the back catalog of everything. And so I was like, okay, fine. Like, I'm just going to adjust because I feel like I'm cutting off my forehead.
I like it. I love your
But
forehead. Let's
my forehead's
frame it.
huge. So I like, I'm fine
Mine's
with it.
tiny,
I'm into,
so
we're not forehead twins.
we're
Um,
definitely not forehead twins. Mine is very small.
okay. So I was like, to be honest, I know that it is your employer. So, but I,
Hey, I was wildly confused about it.
but I was just like, another, like,
I
it was like,
know.
I want, so I was like, can I watch it on Prime? Can I like buy it for 99 cents and what? And no, you cannot because this
But
is
that first
exclusive.
episode was free.
It's free. It's free.
Yes.
It's free for your email address, which that was the block for me where I was like,
Oh
I
my
can't sign up
gosh.
for another thing. Do you know what I mean?
I
Like,
100% that I do.
then I was like, okay, whatever, I'll just do it. I'm going to do it. And then when it asked me to pick an avatar, I was like, no. Like, I was like, I refuse. And so it was just Nick Offerman from Parks and Rec. It was my avatar.
That's a good one. That is
Yeah.
a very Ron Swanson.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny?
I was so grumpy about the whole freaking thing.
You know
Anyway.
what? Fair. And by the way, thank you for being a champ.
No, it's dumb. Like, I'm dumb. An
No,
email
you're
address?
not.
Come on.
I'm the same though. I just feel like at some point, sometimes I just want to run through the world yelling unsubscribe.
I
Because
agree.
there's too much. There's too much stuff.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I don't even know what I'm subscribed to anymore.
I agree. I don't know. But then Gmail does this great, terrible thing of like kind of reminding you that or like taking it off your radar. So it like puts it in all in a separate, it puts it all in a separate folder or whatever, right? But like, then I'm like, that's just snoozing on it. You know what I mean?
That's hoarding. That is
right. It's
hoarding. Can I tell you something? My
exactly.
boss, she ended up putting her screen in the writer's room on the monitor, and we were looking.
Yes.
We accidentally saw her inbox.
Oh God.
It's pristine. I was like, my jaw hit the floor. I was just like, you are my hero. Also, I'm a little afraid.
Oh my God. That'd be like if like J-Lo accidentally got pantsed or something. We'd be like,
girl, that would not be an accident.
But we'd be like, how dare you? I mean, I'm sorry I looked for violating your...
But also, how the heck does it remain camera ready all day?
Exactly. Like, oh my God, I'm so jealous of a clean inbox.
My booty would need hair and makeup and wardrobe before I'd be ready for anybody to look at that thing. I know the surprise inbox. I was so, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed." I'm like, "Girl, what?"
I thought you were going to say there were like 42,000 unread emails. That's what I thought you were going to say.
But also, I was like, this is why this poor lady needs a vacation, because she's on top of it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, welcome to my inbox where I've got like all kinds of unread emails that I'm allegedly going to reply to.
Same. And like, I thought inbox 0 was like a myth. Like, I really thought,
she's pretty good.
Wow. Okay.
Both of my bosses, I feel like they have clean inbox energy. That's the new BDE, y'all. Like, get into it.
I would love to have that.
I'm that maniac who's like, I'm just going to start a new email address and leave my past behind.
I do this exact same thing. I'm just like, you know what? Forget it. That's what I thought when I was signing up for Peacock. I was like, you know what? It's all right. I'll just like get a new email address. I need a new one anyway. So
we are the hoarders of the internet, you and I. There's dead cats in my inbox.
I don't want to look in there.
A lot of pancaked dead cats.
Yeah. We have so like it's kind of like, have you heard of the myth of like a clear countertop?
Yes.
I don't know how people do that either. And one time my friend who has children was going to go on vacation, and she was like, I'm trying to get to refrigerator 0. And I was like, how?
That, I used
how?
I mean, I feel like I could only do that if I was 100% by myself.
Agreed. And I would just eat like quinoa for
I used to do that. I actually used to do that because I only had, guys, we're about to talk about keeping it very real.
Please.
When you have roommates, you have a section of the fridge.
That's correct.
And so my little section, I'm so used to having the tiniest amount of space that and even that gets overflowed.
Right. Yeah.
I would think it would keep it easier, but the
shared fridge, if they can figure out how to make like just put like 3 mini fridges in for like
that's so much better.
That would make roommates like just forever, because I feel like that fridge is the worst.
The fridge is so hard.
It's so hard.
The fridge is really, really hard. But
it's the only downfall.
You know what? It made me real honest about like This business of bulk buying vegetables is not. What are we doing, Lisa? There's only so much spinach you're going to eat in a week, you maniac.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's so hard and it's so easy to consume in America. It's just so easy. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I'm maybe in other places too, but like why am I don't even go to Costco because it's just like
Oh no. I Costco delivers, by the way.
yeah, I was like, wait a minute, I don't go anywhere. Everywhere delivers. What am I talking about?
Can I tell you one thing that I really love making that brought me joy is
Please.
I guys, I love a roast chicken. And then once I get all that meat off it, I take the
Yeah.
bones and I make a stock.
Yes.
But
Mhm. Mhm.
the way that my new thing to cook the chicken actually before I make the stock is I take all because I'm very optimistic about those little sauce things you get when the food orders.
Yes.
You know the little
You keep them.
we keep them.
Yeah.
So what I do is when I roast a chicken, I go, okay, every one of those sauces goes in the crock pot with my chicken, and I get a new marinade every time.
Oh,
And when I tell
wow.
you, all you have to do is think about like whether or not these sauces kind of make sense. But the truth is, I've done it blind, and it still turns out great.
Oh my god. See, I could see how you get to refrigerator zero.
Yes. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
very.
that's all part of it.
I could do
The
refrigerator zero. Counter zero. Get out of here. What are we doing? You try to kill me?
countertop zero, but it's also just like then yeah, no, I can't. That's not. I don't know how to do that.
I
I
think what
can't
you
do.
should do is just build a new countertop on top of the other countertop and be like, "That's my countertop zero. That's for guests. The real one's underneath.
Yeah. That would
Don't
be
look
so
there.
great. That
Don't
would
be
be
rude."
so great. Well,
Yeah.
because especially because like most countertops are too high for me, so I could build like a shorter one underneath that no one
A
ever sees.
secret Chris Q countertop
Yeah,
that's nobody's business but
that's
yours.
right. That's right. That'd be
Your kids,
great.
your kids could see.
Yeah, I'm looking at mine right now. I see a pine scented candle, an absolute
Ooh,
vodka, a lot of coffee, some COVID tests.
sounds
Like
like
what?
home. Sounds like home.
Oh my gosh! You know what all those are though? Those are all lady parts.
Oh
Let's
my
be real.
gosh, you're so good at this.
I need
Parts of
those
a
things to
lady.
function.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
So we are lady parts. You get it on Peacock. I don't know that I've said that enough. Um, it's
I will
free.
have it's
The
free. Oh
first
yeah, the
episode
first
is
episode's
free.
free.
Very important to say.
You just have to
Yeah,
give up your identity.
correct. But so what? So what? You unlock your iPhone with your eyeballs. I'm sorry. That is your identity. It's gone. Like,
But I'm so happy that you enjoyed it because I knew the peacock thing would be annoying, but
but I was worth
it's
it.
it's okay, good. I'm very
Uh-huh.
happy to hear that. This show came on my radar from the writer's assistant that I work with at work. She
Yeah.
said, you should check out We Are Lady Parts. It's an amazing show. It's so good. Guys, it's originally it's Channel 4 in the
Yeah.
UK,
Which is
and
not
they
BBC, I don't think.
not BBC. No, it's sort of like it was explained to me that like I feel like BBC is a little more like network and sort of proper, and Channel
Yeah.
4 is a little bit weirder. You could a little bit like almost like
Oh.
cable, I guess.
Okay, okay. Or like
Is
a CW, maybe.
yes, 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 yes. So a little more, but
Edgy.
edgy, guys, edgy. You want to be on the edge.
Um, yeah, so it's really good. It's created by Nita Manzoor. Um, and I just want to say that I just thought the lead, Amina, her name is Amina, and Jana Vasan is the actress's name. She's so charismatic and
Adorable.
just like yes,
And by the
adorable,
way, she
watchable,
is
100% watchable,
so watchable. She is a musician.
and
She
yes,
actually does play. And what a comedic actress.
so great, so watchable, just so good,
Her
so good.
eyes, her
Yeah,
those big round brown eye. The thing it's just so this it's so lovely because it's I believe they're all Muslim women,
yeah,
maybe
mm-hmm.
they're all and they're in this band in England,
Right.
modern day.
Yeah.
And you've got there's the two parts. You've got the our protagonist. She is this sweet faced bright-eyed little science student,
Yeah, she's
just
getting a
over
PhD.
getting her
Yeah.
PhD,
She's
overachieving, and
trying to date.
she's trying to. And I love this. I absolutely love, love, love this opening scene. She's sitting on the couch, her two parents on either side of her, and she's meeting a prospective husband.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
he has his two parents on either side. And you get this wonderful contrast between the families where you realize, I believe in the course of the pilot, that she's the one who asked for the arranged marriage. She's the one pushing for this more
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
conservative path. And her
Yeah. Her
parents
parents.
are so lovely and
Yeah.
so you can see that it's not I feel like so often you see the portrayal of like the strict
Oh,
Indian parents
yeah.
telling
The
the child to get
overbearing.
married,
Yeah. Hmm.
overbearing. And I think this is a really lovely different perspective,
Yeah.
and of a young woman who voluntarily is trying to have an arranged marriage and
Totally.
voluntarily is trying to be more conservative, almost rebelling against her parents who seem to be like, "Hey babe, it's cool.
Yeah,
Just like
yeah,
do what you
totally.
feel." She's putting
Totally.
all this on herself.
She is. And then that opening scene was when I like paused it and was like, "Oh, well, you should come watch this with me. It's pretty funny." Just cuz like so then it's the a courting family is like a radicalized family. So it's just
Very.
like
The yes, it's so great
and the contrast.
how her parents are attempting to like pretend that they're just a little more conservative to help boost their daughter.
Yeah. Like oh no, she doesn't play music. Like she just teaches it. Like it's just like the whole thing, which actually becomes the whole thing later because she actually doesn't. She just teaches it.
Ugh,
Um but
so
like
cute.
it was great. It was just a great fun thing that you never get to see. I mean, it opens on a brown woman's face and then like I was already like, "Okay, I'm ready."
Mhm, I'm in.
And then it just like gave us like a whole it's like a slice of her life, which I think was great. Like, I mean, ultimately, what's so important about having these like figures is that you realize that it's all the same, like
Yeah.
I think, like she's going through this, she's looking for a partner,
She's
even though it's
looking
like in
for
a different way.
love.
She's looking for
She's
love.
looking
She's
she's looking for purpose.
purpose. She's 26. She's doing this. That's like all what 26-year-old around the world isn't sort of like looking for that same thing.
And another big
So,
thing too about being a woman who's 26 is you've got your college friend group, but I kind of feel like around 26 and 27 is
mm,
when you start to develop that first sort of post college young adult friend group, sort of
yeah,
like the people that you become friends with at your first
job.
job.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah.
like this, and so it's a pivot. I feel like it's such a pivotal age of when you're like, you sort of are starting to outgrow the college
Yeah,
identity that you had,
right,
and you're shifting into becoming a young woman and making different and maybe deciding that like, oh, I still feel like I have more growing to do. I feel
right.
like this new, and so when she encounters this group of young women, this band, this rock
Yeah,
band,
called late. Well, they haven't named themselves yet. But
oh, that's right. They
yeah,
hadn't.
yeah.
And the
Yeah,
band, and so for her to, they represent this like sort of like that totally different path than the one
yeah,
she took, because they're all very radicalized. Like they made me think of like Pussy Riot
yeah,
in
yeah,
Russia, where
yeah.
it's, I mean, where it's a band, but it's a movement.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and I
totally.
mean, these ladies are, they're so punk.
They're so punk.
They're
Yeah.
so punk. They have a lot to say, and
Yeah.
they're angry. And I just, the contrast of their message and their vibe with hers
And she's just
is
so
just
yeah,
so
it's great
delicious.
because she's so
Yes.
like bright-eyed and not like that at all. And and like they are just so yeah, they just want like they're there for like female empowerment and like
Yes.
yeah, it's so great. Because we also do like we see like each one of these members like a slice of their lives, and
Yes.
it was just such a fun like to see they were just such fun personalities already. And
And
like,
some of them have hijabs on,
yeah,
some of them don't.
yeah,
Everybody's got, like, their own level
way,
of
like,
yeah, of how they
yeah,
wanna express their cultural identity. It's really cool.
it's so cool. It's so cool. And then they like break to pray, which is pretty cool, you know? And then there's one woman who like isn't,
Yeah.
which is great. Like, so
Oh,
it's,
their manager is amazing. She's got a hijab and you only see her eyes, and
yeah.
she's constantly smoking weed. So there's just this smoke that's always like just very cool, like like
hmm.
emanating from her hijab, just from her mouth. You're just like,
Yeah.
and then
Like,
like, oh, it's so cool.
so then they are looking for, so their whole thing is that they're looking for a guitarist. And then they find like the one good guitarist that they've run into is a man.
And he's he's exactly what they didn't want.
Exactly. He goes like, "Oh, I'm just so excited to have an all-girl backing band," and then one of the characters just goes, "Die, bitch!" Like it's so good, and just like attacks him. Like yeah, they can't help but like look at his like protruding like
Oh, his bulge,
yeah, his
his
bulge.
pants bulge.
Yeah, they're just like, "What? We're not doing this. We can't do this," you know? Um, yeah, it just feels like a fun start to. I'm definitely gonna have to sign up now for Peacock because I want to watch the rest of the season, just because
It's so
it's
good.
fun, and
And
it has 100%
oh yeah, on
rating
Rotten
on
Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes, which is
I'm
pretty
not
wild.
surprised. It's so good. And the music's good.
The music's good, yeah,
It's so fun. I loved School of Rock when it came out.
yeah,
That whole energy, I love, like, we've got to win the battle of the bands type of
yeah.
stories. Like, I find that energy so entertaining because then you always get to see a great payoff with a performance.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that stuff. And there's like one, she does like a solo thing in her closet. Like she kind of has this like rich
Yes.
imagination, world. So she has like this closet where she has like her rock posters and like, that's, I guess, the only place she can play, I'm guessing.
Well, that she allows herself to play because I don't think
Yeah.
her parents mind. But
Yeah,
she's the one
no.
who's like,
She says that it's because like in like third grade or something,
oh yes.
she had like a talent show situation where like she got like booed off the stage or whatever, and that's so now they say this like she throws up and has diarrhea every time she has to perform on
Performance
stage.
anxiety, poor baby. I used to I forgot because I was like, "What did I ever have performance anxiety?" And then I remembered when I was swimming competitively,
Mm.
every time I had to get up on the block,
Yeah.
I would have to pee so bad.
Oh
I would
my
just be standing
god.
there with my legs crossed, like, oh my god, and it was fully like performance anxiety,
Yeah.
and I forgot that I got over that. But I remember everyone was always like, "What's wrong with you? Why do you have to pee right before you swim?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
We're
And
11. We don't know.
we
Like
don't know. I don't know what's going on down there. I'm a mess.
I can't imagine like competitive like racing. I
It
never
is
did anything like that.
it's
I did like
horrible.
sports, but I didn't do like at the buzzer
Everyone's
go.
watching you.
Ooh,
Everyone's watching you, and like you're wait, and then you're supposed to just wait, and you're supposed to
mm-mm,
go. And it
no.
was not conducive to my personality, but I have to say, it really now I don't get that. I don't really
Yeah,
get
yeah,
performance anxiety because I think it was, I got habituated to it. But
yeah.
I did that having to pee thing was like that lasted a long time. Like, I was like
Every time in the Olympics when they like someone does like a false start, I always feel so bad, but I'm like, I get it. Like,
yes.
because you're just like
You're
nerves.
so
I mean,
amped. You're so amped. You're
yeah,
like
if like a fly landed on you, you would go. You know, you're just like, oh, like
you hear
the
someone
stress.
sneeze in the other end of the pool and you go
Yes, I feel so much anxiety for them. Like every
I had the
time.
worst. I had the worst. It was so scary because Yeah, swimming is such a weird specific sport
Yeah.
because you're basically in a sensory deprivation tank for
Yeah.
like a very long time, and you're on a team with people, but you
Right.
can't you're it's very individual. And
Yes.
it's a really, and like it kind of does teach you a lot of self-discipline,
Yeah.
and the fact that like, you're on a team, but it's not really glorious. It's not like in
Right.
soccer where you're all
No.
running and then somebody
Yeah.
makes the goal and there's a very clear moment where everyone's
Yes.
celebrating together. It's like, good job, you touched that wall real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. That and like just like swimming laps in general, like because I've never like swam competitively, like I
Hmm.
can't do it. Like it's just like I get like one lap in and I'm like, I'm so bored.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a mental, it is a crazy mental. Anytime I meet someone who said they grew up swimming competitively, I'm like, yeah, of course you did. I know what's going on here.
yeah, like could
Game
you
recognized game.
yeah, like could you go to a gym and swim laps? Like I could never.
I couldn't, only because everyone, in order for that to work,
Yeah.
everyone else has to be abiding by the same rules of traffic as myself, and that never happens at the gym. So I don't do it, or I would be getting in fights. I'm too
Yeah.
particular.
I'm just like, can't we like play some tunes or like something? It's just
Oh yeah,
so
that's
boring. It's so
so
boring.
wet. It's just so
Yeah.
boring and so wet.
And it's such a slog, like, because you have to, like, you gotta, I mean, that shower, the whole thing, like the swimsuit,
Oh,
the shower.
oh.
I just, not
I
my
smelled
form of
I
exercise.
smelled like chlorine for about 90% of my childhood.
Yeah.
Always
Yeah.
just a residual smell of chlorine.
Yeah. My cousin was asking me if she should get her son into tennis because I played tennis in high school for
Oh
a little bit.
yeah. Oh my
And
goodness.
it's that same thing of like, I was like, well, um, is he the type of person that like, because there's a lot of time to beat yourself up out there by yourself.
Oh
You know what
my
I mean? You're
gosh,
just like,
yes.
oh my God. And there's just like no one else to talk to. It is like a completely
It's
alone
very
pursuit.
yeah, yeah, like team sports are so much better.
Because you can diffuse it, right? Like soccer, you're just like, oh, okay, like if someone gets a goal in on you, then like it's like it passed 10 other people to
Yeah.
get before it got. So it's like you can
Hun-
say that.
And you can commiserate with everybody, and
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
much like in We Are Lady Parts. You
Much
mentioned
like.
that scene of her in the closet, and I loved that
Yes.
scene. And that scene, I I
The
I
puppets,
real
there were puppets.
I realized why I loved it so much, because those puppets reminded me of Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah.
When I
It's
first,
yeah.
because the thing is, I don't really, I prior to that I would have told you that I'm not a big fan of musical comedy.
Prior to Flight of the Conchords?
Yeah, because I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah,
so many
yeah.
times
Fair.
I wasn't a big, huge fan of, like, God, not to crap on anybody, but like Adam Sandler was sort of my reference point for the thing, and I'm like, and sometimes I feel like I've seen it used as a crutch sometimes
Yeah.
for like not funny guys who kind of just do the thing with the guitar, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, I guess that makes it funny. Or the girl with the ukulele, and
Yeah,
sometimes I
yeah,
like
yeah.
it, and sometimes I'm like, oh, it's a very twee. What are we doing?
Yeah, yeah.
But this, when the music's good,
It is good.
it's so good, and like
It's so
she's
much better.
great,
Yeah.
and yeah,
So our friend, we have a mutual friend, Angie. I asked her during the,
yes,
like it was probably a year ago now, but I was like, have you watched we always talk about like, what we're watching. And I was like, have you watched Bo Burnham's Inside,
hmm,
his special or whatever? And she goes, I don't do girls with ukuleles. And I was like, well, and she's like, and she just stopped me. She's like, I don't do girls with ukuleles.
Angie, honey,
And I was just
I get
like,
it.
yeah, I get it. Like, I was like, no, well, he's a guy with like piano. And then I was like, you know what? You're right. Yeah, no, I
He's
get
right.
it.
It's another version of a girl with a ukulele.
Yeah.
I tend to be that way. So if you can get me in,
Yeah.
then
Well, the other thing is, like, I mean, to be like, I'm not a great musician, but I am a musician. And
hmm,
I will say I get it because the ukulele is like a very good like starting instrument. And so it's
Yes.
like it doesn't take a lot to learn it.
And
Um
to then feel like, you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so this what we have with Amina is like she is a legit guitarist.
she's
Like
a legit guitar.
she's
You can tell.
yeah, she's legit. And so it just makes like a world of difference. Like she's not just like she didn't just like fall into it, you know?
No,
Like
it's not a thing. That's
not
the
that
thing.
Bo Burnham is a legit musician as well. I
Oh,
just
I saw
and
his.
and I
I don't
I
know that I
enjoyed
saw
it.
that exact special. He's another one where I'm like, oh, he gets a pass because the way he uses it, I'm very into.
He's you have to watch that special. You have to.
I,
You
I, I is that the newest one?
yeah, the one on
Okay,
Netflix.
yeah, yeah. Chris loves him, so yeah,
Oh yeah,
we'll
you'll
have to
enjoy it.
dive in.
And you just the tunes will be in your head forever. But
Well,
anyway,
well, I was gonna say this is why Amina is not a girl with a ukulele because
right.
she literally does not want any attention at all.
Ooh. I feel
There's the
like
difference. It
I feel like
actually
half of the women in Los Angeles just got red. Okay.
she she literally will explode from both ends of her body if she gets attention.
Correct. Yeah. She just wants she does it for her she only teaches she says this several times. She only teaches, she doesn't play. Like cuz
And
she doesn't want the attention.
and the thing about that character is they couldn't make her want it less, which is why she deserves it the most.
Yeah.
She's so good. She's so her character is so good, and I you see this friendship
Mhm.
developing the between her and the lead singer,
Yeah.
Syra. I think that's how you say
Yeah.
her name, Syra. And it's so this show is so much about female friendship and
It's great.
camaraderie. It's just it's real. The women are really the female characters are really wonderfully portrayed. Here, the Bisma is a mother.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Like one of
Oh,
them is
that
a
was
mom.
cool. Yeah, one of them
She's a
is a
mom,
mom.
and you
Yeah.
see all of the and the women are all portrayed as very fiercely independent. Like, you don't
Yes.
often see women, Muslim women with hijabs, portrayed as having all the full aspects of their personality just
Right.
on display. It's
It
just
was
such a
great.
cool. Uh, it's such a cool portrayal of like these women and the blending of like British punk rock
Yeah. Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah,
their
yeah.
bring and what they bring from their cultural perspective to the table. I just thought it was
Well,
so beautiful.
well, this is the thing that I'm always saying like in my activism is like I feel like I am always just fighting for the right to be basic. Because
Oh my gosh, that's such a great way to say it.
like I just it's like so much of like the stories of black and brown women and indigenous women are just like bloodshed and trauma and just like the saddest stories you could ever hear, and all I want is just I just want to be portrayed and portray these women as just like your regular like a 27 dresses. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like a that vibe of just like it doesn't have to be trauma. It doesn't have to be like
It also
tears.
doesn't and it also like it doesn't always have to be so heavy.
It doesn't. Like because these women are just women. They're just yeah, and so I always say like I'm just fighting so hard for the right to be basic, like in
I
my
love
representation.
I love that you say that because like I
Because I
feel
am
like
basic.
I am I am so basic. I'm like very basic white and so many like I had
Like
someone say to me, uh, he said, "You remind me of a friend of mine.
yeah.
She's so white, but she's also
Right.
so Latina." And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
I said, "I love mayonnaise. I
Right.
love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I do."
Yeah. I just like always just want to be like, I don't know, whatever. I really like the Before trilogy. Like I love like Ethan Hawke and Julie
Listen,
Delpy and like
at
just
the end
like
of the day, we all want to see ourselves reflected in a Disney princess. Let's just
right.
keep it
Right.
100.
And so like yeah, so but to in order to get there, I have to like freaking fight for
You
it.
have to eat a lot of vegetables to get to the dessert.
It's so hard. Like, I can't just be freaking basic, which is how I feel, you know?
I know exactly what you like. I feel like I come from it as I'm like, if people look at me, they're going to think I'm basic. So I have to like
Right.
go hard in the other direction.
No, yeah, no, I can't like it's like I have to like test in with my IQ and prove my intellectual prowess and say that I'm like all these things so I can get in there and talk about
The
like
Real Housewives, guys. You know
yes,
what? This podcast could easily have just been a Real Housewives podcast, but we are really trying.
we're
Okay.
trying, right? Yeah, exactly. I just want to talk
I'm in
about Real
recovery
Housewives.
from Bravo. And actually, that's a lie. I'm not in recovery. I'm still pretty addicted.
I'm in recovery, but I am on their Instagram. I am on Instagram, bravo. So
Can I confess to you something? I got 3 months of free Peacock premium, or because I've already signed up for the Bravo Insider newsletter,
I
and they sent me that
see.
email.
I see. Okay. I'm gonna find that in my promotions folder. I'm gonna find
Yes, your
that.
Bravo Insider. You should be getting, I think, a 3 month free coupon code for Peacock, guys.
Oh my gosh. I know,
Life
right?
hack.
I should just look in my promotions folder and just search for Peacock because like I bet like because everyone's always just trying to get you to sign up for stuff. So
Everyone wants you to sign up for things, guys.
in order to like in order to find my free I just gotta get in there and then delete it all.
Then delete it all.
I came close to like it was like your Gmail's like it was something like 80% full. And I was like,
It's,
what?
I mean, that is, I've not faced my own mortality really, but I have
Yeah.
faced the idea of having a full Gmail and fully realizing how much that would destroy my life
I was
at
like,
this
that
point.
is terrifying. And someone was like, just go into your promotions folder and delete it all because it's like they're always sending you all these like high res, like full color things.
Oh,
And I was
yeah.
like, oh, okay. So he's like, go into your spam and your promotions because those
We
are
need,
all
I want the Gmail Marie Kondo in my life.
Is there? Should
I
he
don't,
find her?
is it
Obviously,
just,
it's a woman.
I feel like is it just Marie Kondo? Like, I feel like she probably just shift your focus, man. I'm sure
But I
the
feel
skills
like
are all transferable.
how do you hold an email and figure out if it brings you joy?
Brings me joy. I'm like, is the coupon code still valid? That's what my inbox is I'm just a crazy woman, like an old lady with like a bunch of coupons.
That's totally what it is.
If I were to see my Gmail visually represented, it would be so shameful and embarrassing. It'd be like these stupid old emails from
That is
wherever.
good.
Uh,
Can someone invent that where they can just show us like our trash? Basically, it's like having a storage unit,
that's
which
exactly what it
everyone
is.
knows is just a racket, right?
Like, I feel like my real life, I finally feel like I've got a pretty good handle on
You're really
clutter.
good at clutter. Yeah, you're pretty good at that.
However, my Sims life or my Gmail, like online, I am a disaster. Like,
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
just so you know, the way I quote unquote archive this show,
Oh
there's
God.
I have to over the holidays, I'm going to organize my life a little bit, my online life a bit, but like these giant gigabyte files that
They're huge.
I'm
They're
leaving them on
huge.
my desktop. Like, I'm like, what, who am I? Like, I'm
Yeah.
acting like it's like
Same,
I'm
same.
the my in real life IRL. I'm very responsible, but
Right.
in my virtual life, I'm like a trust fund baby who just assumes someone's going to take care of this mess. Who? That's what I. You know what? I'm having a major revelation on this podcast where I'm like, I'm only able to be like this because this is my matrix.
Yeah, right. I know.
My
Exactly.
virtual life is a nightmare.
It's a
Don't look
nightmare.
there.
I
There's
don't
so
want to
many
go.
video files.
I can't go to the metaverse. I don't want to because it will be bad. Like, I'm
Abandoned
terrified.
short films. All my scratch files from my Final
From
Cut
and
Pro.
writing. Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. That's the mess. That's the mess. But I
Mhm.
also don't want to get rid. Oh, if you look at I don't know how my notes app is just terrifying. It's
Okay,
like,
when I tell you the insanity that is the way I use the Notes app, I just use it to write things in it. I've never actually
yes.
saved. So I have one note that just keeps getting deleted and put back over and over.
Oh
The
my God. Good
description
for you.
the description of our podcast, well, just because I whatever. I'm not that good. I'm probably doing it in emails, like I'm emailing
Right. We
myself.
have it all somewhere. Right. Yeah. No. So like I write down like things I think are funny, things I think I
Yes.
want to remember. Everything is all in my notes. I have 3,234 notes right now.
I once found a note. Here's the okay. Here, I'll do you one better. I used to write those thoughts, but I didn't put them on separate notes. So I would have a couple notes with like a bunch of weird cryptic things. I
Yeah.
wrote once, guys. If anyone can tell me what you think this means,
Yeah.
please. I wrote Lavender Steel the porn supremacy.
You were obviously high.
I, I I don't even know that I was. I think that I thought it was a sketch idea because remember when you and I met? When we first met,
Sketch
we were
ideas.
like, "Is this a sketch? Is this a sketch? Is this a sketch? Is this a
If we go
sketch?"
into the 2016 or whatever year
The
files, it would just be
administrations,
it to the
the
two prior
administration changeover.
administrations. It would be like, yeah, every single thing was, is this a sketch? Is this a
Is this
sketch?
sketch?
Yeah.
Is this a sketch?
Every
But yeah,
single thing.
yeah. As we were talking, I'm realizing yes, the only way that I'm able to function in the real world is because my virtual world
Is
is
a mess.
insanity. It's pure chaos.
Pure chaos. Yes. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us again this week. Next week we'll be doing Barry,
I'm
which is
so pumped.
HBO, right?
It is
Yeah.
HBO,
HBO
and
Max or
I'm
whatever.
very excited. It's a very different
Hard shift, which is
tonal vibe.
fun. Yeah. I remember, I think, you know what? It was like, I remember why I stopped watching because I was like, why can't this lead be not white? I think the
That
girl.
I'm telling you, I felt like that.
And so I stopped, even though I love him.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
was
it's all right.
girl. The struggle is real.
The struggle's real. I was like, I want to be that basic. I want to be that basic,
I
you
know,
know?
but we have brown hair.
Right, right. Which it's like, how are you a brunette and how am I a brunette? Like, there's not even a category that's right.
No,
Anyway.
we're all in the same one.
Okay. So join us for Barry next week. You can find us on social media at Pilots 101 Podcast. Timmons at Timmons Lisa is Lisa
Yeah.
Timmons.
Thank you.
And you can find me at Chris Q. All right. Thank you.
Have a great week, y'all.